First up, we'd like to welcome John Rosser from the Gasparilla Film Festival. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
I know the Gasparilla Film Festival doesn't take place until February.
Correct.
But you have things in the works now. You have call for entries out.
Absolutely.
And you also have an event coming up in November. So tell us about both of those ventures.
That's correct. Well, we're morphing into a full-time organization to help support and build the film culture here in Tampa. And as a result, we hold events every 6 weeks or so.
Oh, wow.
Our next event is going to be our Children's Day, where it's going to be in Hyde Park Village in the Circle. And not only are we going to show a children's classic movie on a big screen outdoors, but we're going to have children's activities as well preceding that. So
That's
it's going to
cool.
be very, very exciting.
Do we know what the movie's going to be yet?
We are negotiating that as we speak. We have one that we'd love to get, but it's always a bit tricky on the rights and things like that. So.
Okay.
And you mentioned that you have events every 6 weeks. What are some of those other events?
Sure. Back in August, we actually showed a movie about the homeless situation in St. Petersburg called Easy Street. It was two local filmmakers, Andrew Lee and Stephen Ashton, and I actually did an interview on Media Talk, the other
big
program
brother.
that Tampa Digital
Father.
does. Yes,
Father.
Absolutely. But we did that down at Channel Side and at Splitsville. It was a great event. And the great thing about independent film is it's different from going to the Cineplex on a Saturday night where you go, you watch a film, and you go home. With independent film, we try to choose subjects where we can provoke discussion, where we can have people come in. On that particular day, we had the State Film Commissioner, Paul Sermons there. We had actually folks who were homeless in the audience. We had a roundtable, basically a roundtable discussion with everyone in the audience that night about the issue, and it really was a learning experience, engaging experience, and that's really where independent film is different. And our organization, we're trying to help with the education of that, because a lot of folks aren't that aware of the difference between independent film and the things that we do versus just renting a DVD and watching it at home.
Yeah, at face value, someone probably just thinks, well, it's being done on a smaller scale and with no budget sort of thing.
Right, and actually what's really interesting about independent film is that there's so many good stories out there in the world, and so many good stories that need to be told that don't make it to the commercial Cineplex.
Because we're too busy having a movie every year about bats or
Well,
serial
Yes.
killers.
I think in art and movies and film, there's room for everything. But independent film really challenges you, provokes you. It really gets back to the essence of the art, which is telling a story. Sitting around a campfire and telling a story. And that's really what independent film's good at. What's also great is in the last 20 years or so, and progressively every year it gets more and more inexpensive to make a film. So you have really talented individuals with unique experiences, perspectives, that now have the technology to make a very, very good film or a very, very good short. And now with so many film festivals, now it's actually a very good thing. It's similar to art museums around the country. You have a distribution network where people can go and see these unique films and stories that speak to you. And if in general, if you look at the whole media picture, media is so much more diffuse now. You're doing a program that's a podcast. You're reaching a particular audience. Independent film does that as well. It speaks to a particular audience that maybe a commercial film might not.
Tell us more about the call for entries. Are you expecting more local entries, national, international,
We
worldwide?
actually get all three.
Okay.
We are a festival of the Americas, meaning we define ourselves as films from Canada all the way down to Argentina.
Okay.
We do get mostly American films, of course, American filmmakers. But as a nod to our Latin culture, Ivor, and all the great immigration we've had here, great stories that have happened over the years and need to be told, we have films that reflect that.
Cool.
In fact, you mentioned events that we do. We have our Paul and Pete Guzzo, local filmmakers, who do a great job chronicling the local history here in Tampa, and we look forward to helping show their film, screen their film in January. So those are things we're interested in, films that connect to the local community, but also bringing in features and shorts from other communities that have great stories that people want to see.
Excellent.
Is the larger film festival in February, is that something that's mostly locally attended, or do you get an international following to that as well?
We do. We get inquiries from all around the U.S. and around the world. We actually have the filmmakers come in a lot of cases. We probably have 40 or 50% of the filmmakers last year actually come, and that's a great thing. You can meet the filmmaker. You can talk to them about the film that you just saw. You can learn about how challenging it was to do that, and how you do that on limited resources. And it really enriches the entire experience and makes it a better experience for the filmmaker. We actually go around, I guess I'll say the world, because I was up in Toronto Film Festival looking at film and trying to bring in the very best films we can.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Los Angeles, a film festival called AFI. There's a marketplace called AFM. We have someone going to Toronto. We're going to the film festivals here in Florida. So we're pretty exhaustive in trying to find very good independent film to bring back.
Excellent.
Great. It's exciting. And tell us more about the film festival event in February. Tell us the dates and where people can find out more information about.
Absolutely. The most important thing. Our website, GasparillafilmFestival.com. That's probably the best place to go for updates. It's just easier in this media culture to update via website versus print material.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have an email list. If you sign up for that, we can certainly send you updates as well. We send out press releases. We do have big-time press relationships with the St. Pete Times. We're having a show on WEDU PBS. But really, we like to touch people in all different markets and all different venues. As we mentioned, it's more diffuse now. People get their information from different sources, so you have to go out and reach out to folks that way. We're going to have a very active guerrilla marketing campaign.
Oh, nice.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we're really happy to be selected by Tampa Connection, which is a great organization here in Tampa. They actually help kind of rising stars in their organizations become the next leaders in nonprofits and charities in Tampa. We're fortunate to have 13 of those rising stars on our team. I think we're called the Purple Team. And they're going to help us with our marketing plan, kind of the grassroots marketing of the event, reaching out to people. Because a lot of folks, they maybe heard of us, but they don't quite know what a film festival is, or there's some people who haven't. You know, we all have very, very busy lives, so they're going to help us get the word out. So.
Cool.
Great. John, we've got to run. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I think the website's the best place to go. Don't forget our event on November 18th in Hyde Park Village for children and adults, and then the film festival at GasparillafilmFestival.com, taking place in February and March.
And again, if you're interested in learning more about the events that occur every 6 weeks, the call for entries for the Gasparilla Film Festival or the event itself, you can go to GasparillafilmFestival.com.